Hello guys, how's it going? Just going to do a breakdown of the season finale. And the best episode yet. I'll say yet because I think there's going to be season 3, but this is the best episode and like, oh my god. I don't even, the words that can't come out of my mouth. Mando keeps getting better on episode on episode on episode. We just think, oh, he can't top that episode. That was such a good episode. No, you're going to do it again. That's the type of series we're having at the minute. And thank Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau for it. Anyhow, let's get onto the video. And so we start off on an Imperial ship, which is carrying Dr. Pershing. Out of nowhere, the Slave One appears, and obviously they want to capture Dr. Pershing to find out the coordinates for where Moff Gideon's Imperial cruiser is. Mando boards the ship with Cara Dune, and they take out the pilot, which then proceeds to take the ship and then go find Bo-Katan. Upon arriving to Bo-Katan, Bo-Katan and Boba Fett exchange a few words. As we know, the Mandalorians are proud people, and they're not all from the same sort of crew, shall we say. And she says to Boba Fett that the armor don't belong to him, it's not a Mandalorian, it's just a clone. Boba Fett and Cosca Reeves have a short fight, but the choreography for it is pretty sick, and I love throughout the Mandalorian series. I think the choreography is one of my favourite bits about the whole thing. But then Mando persuades Bo-Katan to join and help him because he's found where Moff Gideon is and the coordinates for his Imperial cruiser, and obviously from previous episodes we've seen Bo-Katan wants a Darksaber from Moff Gideon. Next they are on the ship and they are planning how to get back onto the Imperial cruiser. Now, if you remember at the start of the episode, Mando took the ship which they captured Dr. Pershing on, so they will go undercover on that to get onto the Imperial cruiser. And the plan is that Boba Fett will fake attack them so they can have an emergency landing on the Imperial cruiser. So while this is happening, they request to emergency land on the Imperial cruiser. Moff Gideon walks forward and says, launch the TIE fighters. Once the crew crash land onto the Imperial cruiser, Boba Fett turns around and goes into hyperdrive, and that's the last that we see of him in that episode. I'm so happy we got to see Boba Fett in this season, and we've seen him do his thing. I don't think in the actual movies we were able to appreciate him as much. Like, we knew he was a big character, but I think The Mandalorian has brought his character to life again, and I'm so glad for it. And there was such a really good post-credits scene for Boba Fett, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out. So Cara Dune, Fennec Shand and the Night Owls, Mandalorians, get off the ship and start attacking the stormtroopers that are coming towards them. This episode really starts to pick up pace here, and it's some of the best choreography, just fighting, and it's just awesome. And they see off these stormtroopers with ease, and it's such an epic viewing for us as Star Wars fans. I've said this about previous episodes, but it just feels like Star Wars, and that might sound silly to some people, it might not to some Star Wars fans, but it just feels how Star Wars should feel. At this point, Din Djarin is not with, or Mando as you might prefer to know him as, he's not with them, he's on his own quest, to go get Grogu. That's his priority. As Mando is on the way to look for Grogu, he spots that the Dark Troopers are about to leave the bay where they are kept in. He tries to quickly shut the doors, but as he does, one of the Dark Troopers get their hands between the doors and open it just in enough time for one Dark Trooper to get through. This brings the fight between the Dark Trooper itself and Din Djarin. The Dark Trooper was too powerful for Mando. Mando was trying hard and he did what he could. Mando was pushed up against the wall by the Dark Trooper, getting his helmet bashed in again and again and again. Mando then gets his flamethrower and starts to burn the Dark Trooper, which then the Dark Trooper throws Mando to the floor. While on the floor, Mando then grabs his Beskar spear, which he got a couple episodes back. As the Dark Trooper came towards Mando, Mando shoved the spear through the neck and to the head, as the Dark Trooper then fell to the floor. Mando then got up, and where he went to close the door beforehand to stop the Dark Trooper coming through, he opened up a chute on the other side, which then the Dark Troopers all flew out into the dark space. And that was the last of them, that we thought. Din Djarin proceeds to carry on his journey to find Grogu, and when he does find Grogu, Standing there is Moff Gideon himself, holding the Darksaber towards Grogu. Din Djarin says he doesn't want the saber, he's just here for the child, that's who he wants. Moff Gideon goes, okay, take the child. I see you have a good connection with the child. I've got what I need from him anyway. A surprised Din Djarin walks up to Grogu and goes to pick him up. As he bends over, Moff Gideon then gets the Darksaber and attacks Din Djarin. Mando then blocks it with his Beskar armour. As we know from Mandalorian's Beskar armour, no saber can break the Beskar armour. Mando then defeats Gideon and takes him back to the bridge where the rest of the crew thought Moff Gideon was originally. Now this is where it gets interesting, and this is where I think it's going to set up for Mandalorian Season 3, from my personal point of view anyway. Din Djarin, aka Mando, I apologise that I'm referring to Mando as both Din Djarin or Mando. They're the same person, yeah. Well, he brings Moff Gideon to the bridge, and Mando is holding the Darksaber. Now this makes Din Djarin the ruler of Mandalore. This because he defeated Moff Gideon, who had the Darksaber, and whoever has the Darksaber is the ruler of Mandalore. Din Djarin wants to give Bo-Katan the Darksaber because this is what she wants. This is why she wanted Moff Gideon. This is why she joined up with Mando. So she refused. She can't take it. Moff Gideon goes to say that the only way she can take it is she wins the battle to get the Darksaber, and that's how she becomes the ruler of Mandalore, which is just what Din Djarin has done to Moff Gideon. He's had the battle, he's won the battle, he's got the Darksaber, he's now the ruler of Mandalore. Din Djarin offers to yield it to her, but she cannot take it or won't take it from him. Moff Gideon is laughing at all this and finding it highly amusing. During this moment, a detection seeker starts beeping and goes off, and we see that that whole platoon of Dark Troopers are coming back to the ship. Moff Gideon says to Din Djarin, "You've dealt with one Dark Trooper, now you're going to have to deal with the whole platoon." The Dark Troopers make their way to the bridge. They come to a door which is blocking them between the Dark Troopers and the Mandalorian, the crew, Moff Gideon. The Dark Troopers are trying to breach the door to the bridge. As they punch the doors, they are about to open, but when they do start to open, they stop punching the door. At this point, we see an X-Wing fly past the cruiser. And this is where the best part of any Mandalorian scene. I was shaking when I seen this. The X-Wing come by. I was expecting the Jedi to be in this episode. I've just seen an X-Wing. My instant thought was, it's Luke Skywalker. Holy shit, oh my god.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm.
As I was getting too excited, I had to calm myself down just in case it wasn't what I thought. Mando and the crew look at a camera and they see a cloaked, hooded figure. The figure of the Jedi, that is, Luke Skywalker. It is, guys, it's what I thought it was, and I could not be happier. The Dark Troopers then turn and go to fight Luke Skywalker. Luke takes on the troopers with ease, and with the same fighting form as his father Anakin. This fighting form is called Form V, like I said, which his father Anakin Vader used. Luke was also known to use Form 3, which is what Obi-Wan used, but in this scene for the Mandalorian episode, it's Form V. If you don't know what I mean, I'll show you right here. As Luke enters, I've got chills. You hear him fighting along with the Binary Sunset theme playing in the background, or as some might know, the Two Suns theme. Luke was slicing through the Dark Troopers like they were nothing, using the Force and pushing them like it was just a feather in the air. It was with ease, and I'm so glad that they made Luke actually look so powerful. You could see how powerful Luke was. Not like The Last Jedi, where fucking Rian Johnson made him lob his own lightsaber and not give a crap about anything anymore. Sucking on bloody blue titty milk. What the hell? Well, anyway, enough about that wet wipe. This is about the Mandalorian, and it's so much better. Like Nathan said, it gave me a proper Vader Rogue One hallway scene vibes. One of my favourite bits was seeing Luke use the Force by crushing the Dark Trooper like into nothing. It just crumbled to the floor. Oh my god, I love how powerful he looked. I honestly think that this is the best Luke we've had on screen, and some people say his face wasn't looking right. and I understand that, but in terms of how it looked like, its choreography, the feel to it, I think this is the best Luke we've had. It's, like I said, I got chills, I was shaking with happiness, and the hallway scene with Vader on Rogue One, and now this, we're so lucky at the minute. After Luke is done dealing with the Dark Troopers, Luke enters the bridge and tells Mando that he needs to properly train Grogu so Grogu can protect himself. There's no point in having the talent and no skills but no training with it. Din Djarin knew this is where Grogu had to leave him, and again you could tell in his voice that he was not well. He's losing his almost like son. He's been such a father figure to Grogu, and Mando at the start of Mandalorian was he was all to his clan. He wouldn't take his helmet off, and I know we've seen him do it in recent episodes, but it's the first time Grogu has seen Mando's face, and it's such a heartfelt moment. But Grogu touches Mando's face in a sense of like I'm gonna miss you sort of thing. As this touching moment ends and Grogu's gonna go to Luke, R2-D2 then turns up and recognises Grogu, as does Grogu recognises R2-D2, and R2 does an excited dance, which Luke then proceeds to pick up Grogu up and says to Mando, "May the Force be with you." Wow, what an episode! Like Mandalorian, episode on episode, got better and better and better. If there was anything that was missing from this episode, for me personally, was I'd love to have seen Ahsoka there as well. Maybe Luke and Ahsoka fighting together. I don't know, just something I think I'd have loved. If they turned around and said that was the last episode of Mandalorian, there's no more Mandalorian seasons, if it finished on that episode, I would actually be quite happy. But at the same time, Mandalorian's been so good that I just want more of it. Like, I know we're getting a Kenobi series, etc., and all these new ones, but Mando's kicked it off, and it's set the standard for the future Star Wars TV shows. I still can't get my head around it. This episode, I'm still buzzing off it. Like, got up first thing this morning, watched it, been working, it's all I've been thinking about. I've just been buzzing so much off it. But yeah, that's my breakdown of the Season 2 finale. What did you guys think of it? If you have stayed for this whole 12 and a half minutes, I very much appreciate it. If you have, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Even if it was shit, just give it a thumbs up. Like, share and subscribe. Thanks for listening, guys. Peace.